both is the answer.
I think. Well, I haven't been here for
You think?
a couple weeks, but I think you had Casey sign it out.
No,
Had to
I
sign
He
out.
keeps forgetting that he
I
signs
said
us
that
out. Yeah.
and then did it anyways. And after I
is that what
remembered.
happened?
Yeah.
Okay.
We also had commentary back and forth on it.
Is it still on me?
No, it's on Will. It's on you now.
all right.
Look at that. Look,
That was
Welcome.
quick.
This is the Daily Torch. How you doing today?
pretty good on yourself.
You know what? I'm doing good. Doing good.
Do you think you could hand Lane my device?
No.
Come on. You want to know what I forgot?
Once I finish lighting this cigar.
You want to know what I forgot? I got to get up anyways.
What? Your
You
booze?
got to entertain everybody.
I will.
I
can
got
do
booze. I just don't have a cigar. You know, the pinnacle point of this podcast, which is not me, sadly. It should be.
You
You
know
mean
what?
men,
That's fine.
men smoking cigars and drinking whiskey?
Yeah, men's cigars and
Cigars,
whiskey.
Cigars and more cigars.
The yummy trio. Oh, I don't know about that. That's a little weird to say.
Not for you.
For him, it's really not. But you know,
Yeah, I was just gonna say.
for the rest of all of our viewers, it's they'll probably get used to Kevin.
So we're live.
We are. Well, how
Okay.
are you today?
I'm good. How are you?
You know what? I'm okay.
Yeah? Just okay?
Well, you know, I was having some off sleeping
Ah,
for
You're not
a
alone.
couple of days, but last night was okay.
Yeah.
I think I need a new mattress. Is really what it
is
is.
that? Don't you have a purple?
No, I was thinking about getting a purple, like because Kevin kept talking about getting the purple, and it looks really cool, but I can't afford that thing, man.
Oh, is that
thing,
right?
It's expensive.
What's that? 14?
No, it's like eight or $900. I need a full size, not a queen.
You mean eight? I was saying $1,400.
No, it's not that expensive.
Oh,
It's,
okay.
it's like in the 8 or 9 realm.
And now he's
Okay.
back.
But you know,
So
Goodness,
there's a podcast that I've been listening to regarding cars called Car Edge and stuff, and one of the
Is that the father and son, Will?
yes, it is.
That's not a bad one.
It's you know what? It's getting a little
Dry.
yeah. It's
Repetitive?
yeah, it's the old guy has been in the business for like 43 years, and he's definitely kind of stuck in his ways. And his son is trying to illuminate the inner workings or the workings of manufacturer to dealer and how the current interest rates and cost of cars is impacting. I mean, right now, supposedly you can get great deals on cars because they're hurting. They're trying to move metal. And
Where?
They're not there
Everywhere.
yet.
really?
Yeah, I mean, well, based upon their podcast, everywhere, but they're primarily East Coast, New Jersey, Georgia, Florida, that Eastern Seaboard-ish area. So
I feel like the further you are from the East Coast, cars get more expensive.
I don't know. I haven't done. I was considering researching that because I mean, we know that a mid-sized truck goes for 45 plus, 50 plus,
Yes.
50 grand plus.
Yeah.
So I mean, but I'm wondering if those guys that are back in the eastern section of the United States, if they're lower and they're selling them for a lot less because they're just trying to move metal. I mean,
Makes sense
I
to
mean,
me.
some of them are even getting like $500 to $1,000 under invoice.
Did you see their podcast in the last couple days?
Yeah.
They're talking about Nissan and Lincoln.
Yes.
So Nissan is offering money to dealers to transfer the cars to their books.
Right.
And Lincoln is trying to get their dealers, because it's already on the dealers' books, to transfer their cars into the loaner fleet so they register as sold. So
Yes.
which, when BMW did it, was an SEC violation.
Right. He brought that up, and I
yeah.
was like, oh, this is interesting. I mean, I don't know. The SAC's got to become aware of it.
I can't see any way that's not a Sarbanes-Oxley violation.
Sarbanes-Oxley.
Yeah.
Isn't that
Can you
isn't that
explain?
an act that was implemented?
Yes.
Okay.
It's mostly to do with how corporations do their accounting. It's the act that came into play after Enron. So now, like
okay.
in a large corporation, we're talking about transferring inventory, like in between different parts of the corporation. You have to follow certain procedures. What you hear people say is you have to be SOX compliant, and what they mean is you have to be Sarbanes-Oxley compliant.
Right.
They even have an abbreviation for it.
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah.
Of course they
There
do.
was one in the mortgage industry as well.
I mean, it's a big deal. The fines are immense.
You might remember the name of the act that was implemented in the mortgage industry. I don't remember the name of it, but Frank Dodd.
Yeah, Dodd-Frank.
Dodd-Frank.
Yeah.
I like Frank Dodd better.
Is that your Vegas name?
No, that's Slick Willie. Yeah, so gentlemen, you guys know that I kind of help out on Wednesdays, right?
Yes.
So Wednesday was extremely slow going into the after dinner hour. And then the after dinner hour, we got a couple groups. Two groups came in. And the third and final group that came in were two guys from Austria and a guy from Germany.
Wow, Max
And-
Verstappen fans.
I wish
Casey's
I
only
wish
bringing
I-
that up because he got the anti-Verstappen club got their moment this weekend.
did they?
Yes.
Oh, yes, they
Oh,
did.
yeah, what was that?
Max
Well, let's-
Verstappen's rear brakes blew.
Let's let Will finish what he's talking about before we go into Casey's celebration of F1.
Fair.
So one of the kids comes in and goes, I want a cigar. And he's got a pretty thick accent. And I'm going, what? And he goes, we're looking to have a cigar. And I'm going, okay. I go, have you smoked before? He goes, no, not much. And I go, huh. And he goes, but we want to try something new. And I go, well, this is where I put people in the beginning, it's Cusano 18, La Fontana. Needless to say, they ended up on an Oliva O,
Okay.
Okay.
which is great.
Perfectly good cigar.
Yeah,
cigar.
good cigar. And they share, all three of them share the one cigar.
Well, that O is a 6x60, isn't it?
Yes. Or the one we have
no.
there is.
Yeah,
Oh.
we have the one in there. It's a Gigante. It's a 6x60.
No, this was a Toro. The one that I sold them was a Toro.
We don't have any O Toros.
Yeah. Was it the
Then-
Connecticut?
Was it Connecticut?
It was
Yeah.
Connecticut.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
okay, it's
That's different than the
Connecticut.
O.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Oh, it was reserve?
Connecticut Reserve.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's okay. So sorry. So they're sitting here and they're smoking the one cigar between the three of them, and they kind of go, "So hey guys, where are you from?" They tell me, and I go, "What brings you out here?" And they go, "Well, we're just traveling. Two of us are going to be here for 2 weeks, and the other guy's doing an internship at Stanford." And I go, "Okay," and I go, "So Linus, Lucas, and Steven. That's their names," and it's like, interesting. And I go, "So what are you guys going to go skiing while you're out here?" And they go, "Yeah, we want to go skiing, but it's so expensive." And I go, "What?" And I go, "Well, you're buying." They go, "Why is it so expensive?" And I go, "Well, you haven't bought a ticket in advance." I go, "It's $225 probably running around there." And they all nodded yes. And I go, "And it's also spring break week, or one of the spring break weeks." So that's another reason why.
Yeah, but that's not what they're
$225.
referring to.
No. And I told them, hey, look, we're a capitalist country. That's how we like to capitalize. I'm making as much money as possible. And they laughed. And,
I mean, you got to remember, there's not a lift ticket in Europe over $100 right now.
right. It's like the
Is that
like
true?
70
Yes,
bucks
that's
or
true.
70 or 80 bucks.
Holy shit.
Yeah. Yeah. So
Why is it so cheap?
Is the question why is it so cheap, or is the question why are we so expensive?
Yes.
I know why we're so expensive, but why is it so cheap? in
I
Europe?
have no idea.
Probably less disposable income, if I had to guess.
Oh,
Okay, sure.
that would do it. Yeah.
So
That's
anyway,
fair.
so I go, hey guys, you got to. I go, worst case scenario is you guys got to go sightseeing, right? I go, I talk them about the sightseeing, and they're kind of excited about that. I go, you don't go tomorrow because it's going to be blown out, which it was, and that was, no, it wasn't actually. So I go, it's probably a good time to go, but if it's overcast, don't go. If it's windy, don't go. But
Right.
it shouldn't be windy. And I go, oh, wait a minute. And I think in the back of my mind, I go, oh, I've got tickets. I can get them up on the gondola for free.
Yeah.
I go, this is great. And I go, so hey guys, I go, do you want to definitely go up? I go, will you commit to going up? And they go, yeah, we will go up. I go, great, I'll give you some tickets. And as I'm perusing through my tickets, I see I have 2 one-day full comp tickets.
Okay.
And I looked at these guys and go, how badly you guys want to go skiing? They go, oh man, we want to go skiing. I go, well, I'll tell you what, if you commit to using these tickets, no matter what, I'll give them to you. They go, and they just lit up. And they go, what? And I go, now one of you guys is going to have to pay half price, but 2 of you are free. I go, but you, who has the half price ticket, can tell them to kick down some money to you, so
Yeah, they can all chip in.
so they can
Yeah.
all chip in.
Yeah.
So they do, and I go, hey guys, I go, I'll meet you at Tamarack Lodge at 12 noon. They go, okay. And I go, how long you been skiing? One guy goes, since I was 4. Now, mind you, these guys are less than 30 years old.
Okay.
And I'm going, okay. And he goes, I've been skiing all my life. And I go, okay, great. I go, I'll meet you up there and I'll take you around the resort and I'll show you what's going on and stuff. So we get up there. They meet me, 12 noon. They go, well, guys, either you're going to be chasing me or I'm going to be chasing you. And we all laughed. And I took him from Tamarack. I took him over Big Easy. I took him on the beginner lift, right?
Yeah.
I go, so, hey, guys, we got to go on the beginner lift first. They go, what?
Gotta
And I
warm
go,
up.
Yeah. I go, but
So you can
how
see.
are you guys at gliding? How are you guys at holding your speed and getting? And they go, oh, we can do that. That's fine. And so I go, well, the first thing we're going to do is a real long traverse. And I go, so follow me, and here we go. And these guys pop into their skis, and you know what?
They were gone.
They can fucking ski.
Yeah.
You know, and I could tell. And it's like, cool. We're riding up Big Easy. Okay, guys, come on. We go out the backside of Big Easy, and I do 2 big sweeping turns, and I just head out onto crossover. And I come to the end of crossover, and I stop, and I go, where are these guys? What's up with this?
At the bottom, waiting for you.
No. No. And so they've come up, and they go, oh, this is, they were enjoying themselves. I go, okay, guys, let's go. We headed down, and first thing we hit is Olympic, go up Olympic. And then we go down to Stagecoach. And we come Stagecoach. And I swing them around because when we went up Olympic, one of them got ahead of me and went down to the Olympic hub, the bottom hub. And I go, okay, so they want to ski Olympic again, right? I go, hey, guys, we're not going to do this. We're going to go over here, and it may be bumpy, but we're going to go over here, and we're going to go down to the newest lift on the mountain, which is the bottom North Pole. Sure enough, go down, and they groomed it. I go, holy shit, they groomed this. And I go, let's go. So I just took off, and these guys were behind me fairly well, right? And it's not like I'm really waiting for them. I ski into line, I wait maybe 10 seconds, if that. And we all get on North Pole, and we get to the top of North Pole, and we go, look, we're gonna hook a U-turn here. We're gonna go down, but you got to hang right. And then we went down to Stagecoach, and I'm going down Stagecoach, and sure enough, these guys about 5 seconds, 10 seconds behind me, and I'm going, this is cool. I go, this is great. These guys can keep up. And so we go up Stagecoach, and we head out to, where'd we go from there? We went to Dipper. Went up Dipper, and then we went over to Calside. And these guys are, they're keeping, we're rolling. We took pictures, and I mentioned these guys. I go, hey, guys, we do a podcast 9 o'clock on Sundays. And they go, oh, yeah, really? And I go, yeah. I go, so make sure you tune in. So Linus, Lucas, and Steven, if you're listening, this story is about you.
So you had a good day.
Had a great day.
About time you got on the mountain.
And so I go, okay, now we're going to go all the way down to the bottom of the California side. I go, but we're not going to go the face right away. I want you guys to see the face before we go up. So we take roundabout. And we're speeding down roundabout, and all of a sudden, the snow starts to grab because it's so wet.
Oh, yeah.
And stuff. And I get to the top of the bottom portion of Gun Barrel. And me coming up, when I came up to go meet them at Tamarack, I noticed that the bottom portion of Gun Barrel on the right side, Looker's right, had been groomed. So I took them over there, and we went down Gun Barrel. And we came up, and we got to the top of Gun Barrel, and none of us had remembered to look at what the face looked like. And I go, okay, guys, I don't know how your legs are doing, but one guy's, well, I worked out legs really hard yesterday, and I'm thinking, Lane.
Yeah, I've never been in that situation before.
And I go, oh, this guy is pulling a Lane. And they go, okay. And I go, well, let's do this. And so they go, okay. I didn't say that. I go, it's up to you guys. Because about this time, my legs are trashed.
Yeah.
I've had, I'm just.
A full day.
Yeah. And I got out there at noon, and it's a full day.
Yeah.
And we went down the face. But we stayed left, and we hit Gun Barrel. And these guys, I couldn't keep up with them. At that point, I was toast. So I bailed. I bailed out of it and hit roundabout and came down below them. And they go, what did you do? And I go, I bailed. And they go, okay. So we end up.
So quick question.
Yes.
What skis were you on those bumps?
Nordicas.
Okay.
Oh.
Are you still liking those a lot?
I'm loving my Nordicas.
The Enforcers?
My
Enforcers?
my E100s have been retired.
Like permanently?
Officially?
I am
Official?
amazingly impressed.
They are
Yeah.
officially retired. So,
I thought you were going to take one more season of those.
so the podcast has now gone international.
Yeah.
We are now in. We are
I think
now.
we already
now-
were.
Well, we were, but
yeah.
now we actually have viewers.
More? Yeah.
Ken is our man in Japan.
That's
Okay.
right.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about
Now
that.
we got
I need to
some
go visit
Australians.
Ken.
We do.
But I found my next calling as far as work. I
Australia.
want to be a mountain guide.
Okay.
A mountain guy.
That'd
A
be
mountain
good for
guide.
you.
Yeah, but I don't have to get paid for it.
Like,
So it's not competing with my other employer, so to speak.
so you're going to be a Sherpa.
Oh,
No,
wow.
knock it off, Casey. Come on.
Is that not a mountain guide?
Look
No,
at that
well-
disappointment.
Kind of.
Was that a derogatory comment? towards-
Sherpa.
Sherpa?
I mean,
Sherpa.
they're not really guides.
I feel like they are.
I mean, they could be, but they don't charge enough. So the guy charging, you
Oh,
know,
they charge.
150 grand for the trip is the guide.
Well, what's the Sherpa do then?
Carries,
carries the
he
bags.
carries the gear with no oxygen
He's the
up
hu-
a climb that everyone else is dogging.
He's the human mule.
Yeah, that's
Oh,
it. That's
okay.
it exactly.
Oh, I thought the Sherpa was the guide.
No.
No. He's so.
No, because the guide will take you there, and then the Sherpa carries all the bags, and then the guide takes you up part way, back part way, up part way, back part way for Everest.
Forget that. The guy who's doing all that work deserves the $100,000. What-
Well, yeah, but that's all. That's all just acclimation.
Yeah, that's to get them acclimated, but
Yeah.
the Sherpas just stop at the tent, wait.
Just do whatever.
exactly.
I mean, they're also the ones that go up and lay the ropes early season.
That is true.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, do they?
Oh yeah.
They put a hell of a time in.
I mean, they are spectacular climbers and mountaineers. They just,
They should be.
they just are.
But they do charge.
The shirt, yeah, they're getting paid for their services.
Okay.
But they're not getting paid like you get like the companies will charge. I don't know what the numbers are. This is all conjecture, but I think it's like 150 grand a person or something if you use one of those services. So they'll take a group of like 12. They count on maybe 4 or 6 of them making it to the top. Each one of those people's paying 150 grand. Now a lot of that, it's like 35 grand just for the permit. I mean, you're paying another 30 grand in gear and food. They'll have like at base camp, they'll have cooks. So it's a full service, but they're charging a lot.
Hey,
Well,
Will.
so, I mean-
Hey, Will. You got a shout out.
Did I?
Yeah.
Yes, Stefan says
Oh,
great
shit.
ice skiing.
He is in my phone and he's visiting Steven. Is the
Visiting
name of-
Steven.
Visiting Steven.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
he said, shout out to Will. Thanks for a great day skiing.
Hey man, that was an awesome day. I really appreciate them being willing to drag me along the mountain.
Well, I'm glad you got a good day up there, man.
It was a great day.
About time.
Yeah.
No?
Well, no, I've had some good days up there, but this one was a little special and fun because of these guys.
I think my best days this year were teaching, if I'm being honest.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I believe that.
It's
That
just a
makes
lot of
sense.
fun.
I saw a couple snowboard teachers, and I should just like go right on by and go, Lane says hello. But then again, I don't know if they know you or not. But
On the Cal side?
yeah,
Probably.
yeah.
It's a pretty small group.
That's not your job when you're wearing skis.
That is true.
Me?
Yeah, when
Me
you're
personally?
wearing skis, you ride by a snowboard and go, skiing rules.
Yeah, no, otherwise, if he wasn't going by too fast, they'd say, bullshit, Lane doesn't talk to skiers.
Yeah, exactly. Don't blow his cover.
Yeah, even though he owns a pair of sticks.
You guys smoking anything special tonight? What do we got here?
I got the Mikadera Red.
That, dude.
Them Mikaderas, one of them.
At least you said it that time with an accent. It made it okay.
You're welcome. I always have an accent.
The
The red?
quesadilla
Yeah,
red?
Firecracker.
Firecracker.
Yeah? Fire.
What is the name of that one, Casey? It has a different name, right?
No, it's the
Is that the TT?
TT. It's Trica.
I don't know what it stands for.
It's Spanish for firecracker.
Okay, yeah.
Oh, really?
It's the actual. It's a firecracker.
We just call it the firecracker.
As we should.
Yeah.
I have to-
Because
so-
we can't pronounce mi Kierda.
Shout out to Jeff if he's watching or if he watches this later, because I'm smoking the last Padron he gave me.
Oh, well, just don't put the camera on him.
So, hey, are you
We
going?
already did.
Did I hear
Snob.
you're going to Reno tomorrow?
I'm going to Reno tomorrow or Tuesday. So I'm an idiot.
Okay, that's a first time. I've never heard that.
I had my golf
First.
clubs in my car.
I noticed you brought in a bunch.
Yeah,
of
there's a
clubs.
story for that. So
Yes.
my golf clubs like to slide out of the bag when they're in the back seat because I just lay them on the back seat.
Right.
And they hook on the chair, like on the seat. Every once in a while, one of them will grab the plastic pocket in my door.
Ah.
And usually when I have my golf clubs in the car, it's like concrete and asphalt, whatever. So if one gets pulled out, I see it. If I don't see it, I hear it, right? Because it hits the ground.
Right.
Like, okay, put it back in. Pretty sure in one of the snowstorms we had in the last couple of weeks, when I wasn't paying attention, like either coming in here or pulling stuff out at North Star or pulling stuff out at my place, the club was caught in the door and I pulled it open and it went into the snow and I did not see it nor hear it. So now I am missing a 6-iron.
So there's a
Yes.
possibility you'll find it later.
Mind you, my irons are 22 years old.
Really?
Yes.
Not easy to replace a single 6-iron.
Dan, you like those?
And you like your
I've
irons.
got more than 2,000 rounds on that
Yeah,
side.
because those are
This-
your.
Yeah. Those
yeah.
are my MP33s.
Yeah.
This was a conversation we had.
Yes.
So I asked Casey, because Casey has my original set of Mizunos, my MP14s.
How old are those?
What's that?
How old are those? If those are 14.
30 years.
Damn.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah, and I was like, Casey, how would you feel about not playing with a 6-iron? And he's like,
being the consummate golf professional I am, I don't actually need a 6-iron. So I was like, I'm glad to swap with you.
yes, with the exceptional game that you have.
I only need a 7-iron, really. So,
Yeah.
you know.
So I'm going to give him that set. He's going to trade me back my original MP14s, but I have to take them down to Reno and get them regripped and extended because
Yes.
they were never set
I
up.
would say he's headed
Guys,
to
thank you
Reno.
for coming in.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
He's headed to Reno tomorrow.
Well, I am going to be in Reno. That's why I was like, I will meet you there.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm
you
going to be in
make
Reno
it- if you
tomorrow. I
make
was
it-
thinking maybe Tuesday.
If you make it on Tuesday, I will drive to you, or you can stop by the house.
Well,
we will
the-
figure it out.
The reason why I asked if you were going to Reno tomorrow is because I'm going to Reno tomorrow.
well,
What are you
shit.
going to Reno for?
I'm going to Reno for an oil change at Mini
An
Well,
oil change.
okay.
at
Worst-
2 o'clock.
I am not.
Worst case scenario, Casey, can you meet up with Will? I'll buy your guys cigars at Famari for a smoke and give him the clubs.
Yes.
And then I can get them from him.
Oh, Christian's on.
Oh, cool. Hey, Christian, how you doing?
Yes.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
yes,
He
the
came
Knob-
in here a
the
couple
Knob
nights.
Creek guy.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah. Hey, Christian, how's it going?
That's what I'm drinking right now. Knob Creek
Oh
Rye.
yeah. So I had him do the Knob Creek 12, the Knob Creek 18, and a Knob Creek barrel pick. So barrel
nice.
proof. So he could taste the differences between age and youth and proof, and sort of do a comparison. There's actually really cool taste.
A proper
Oh, that's
flight.
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think we've done that.
I don't think we have. We can still do it.
Well, yeah, we have.
I mean, it
done
highlights the differences. So you can start tasting age and youth, and start tasting how proof like rounds out a whiskey. Like it's a really cool setup. I found.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's nice because then you don't have to think about, oh, I have had it before. It's right in front of you.
Yeah.
And you
you're
can just
right.
walk right through them. We actually should probably start. Maybe we should do that as like a little couple weeks every now and then. We'll do like a
maybe like
age test or something.
And we could do like an entry on it.
Well,
so
we're
that
gonna
it's a
do-
learning experience.
Yeah.
In
Exactly.
fact, we can do it all together because the whole reason we have the 12 and the 18 is for a thing on here. So we can set that up. We just add a barrel proof pick. There's a couple out there. I think I poured the rest of that one. But we can go find one and just do all three as a comparison.
Nice. I like that.
Anyways, did you see your cup?
Oh shit!
I was
Right
wondering.
on.
you
The
get
Frey Ranch Glen.
The Frey Ranch
Yeah, I
Glen.
got 4 of them, so I have one at home, and I brought one for me here, and then I got each of you one.
Nice, thank you.
And I was like, I want to do this to glasses with our logo, and then I looked up the prices to get them done yourself, while sending them out.
Yeah.
It's like $53 for a set of 4. Not too bad.
That's not terrible.
I mean,
all right.
they're like $12 a pop anyway.
Exactly.
that's
So
not
I'm like,
terrible.
that's not
Hey,
bad.
So Christian's already got the 18. So the 18.
Oh, the 18 is good.
No, yeah.
I really enjoyed it. There were some people out there. So initially I held off because it's it's $180 or something. In fact, I held off permanently. That's one that Jeff picked up and then was like, "We're gonna try this." Okay. Because it got some average reviews. They're like, "Oh, you should buy the 12," and then I tasted it next to the 12, and they're full of shit. The 12 is good. Don't get me wrong, but that 18, like the oak structure, is profound compared to the 12. It's just
It pulls more of the oak out, though, of the wood, right? The
yes,
staves?
but it
Yeah.
gets a tannic structure. It adds depth to the flavors. It's a better whiskey, and I think it's deserving because I mean, it's 18 years old. Even $180, you're still paying $10 a year. That's not unreasonable,
Yeah.
right?
That's actually a pretty good deal.
But it's a really good bottle. I was impressed.
Speaking of bottles, so that Amberana from.
Oh, go listen.
Hold on.
You-
Hold on.
You
hold
might
on.
not have to do it. It's expensive.
I
Yes.
imagine.
The one that he has. Well, the one that he found is like 110.
I found the rare character Amberana for 110.
But mine's a barrel pick from Minden Meat and Deli.
like 180, 230. Oh God.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Way too much.
$2.99.
Oh shit.
And then
Wow.
after tax comes out to like three
Look.
something.
If,
then-
if we're paying that much,
I am not buying that one for the shop.
we are pitching. We are all pitching in, and we're just going to buy the rabbit hole one.
Well, I was thinking because I don't know if that's the actual price. That's what they had listed in the computer, and he wasn't there today because it said it was in. So I figured I'd check.
I mean, some of those, some of the rare character exceptional series, which are
It's an
different.
exceptional series.
Is it? So
Yes.
wait, is it a single malt Amberana?
I
Because the
think so.
exceptional series is single malts.
He told me it was an exceptional series barrel pick that he
Yeah.
got.
So if it's exceptional series, that price is right on target.
yeah,
wow.
so
Really?
I might be
God,
I might
you
be
guys
splitting
are,
the bill for that.
you guys are killing me.
Man, I love that face. It's perfect for a
I,
shirt.
Wait,
I
that's-
want to try it
Yeah. See.
I know you do.
Exactly.
because it's a single malt.
now you
that's
might like it.
different. I don't think I'm going to like it.
You could.
but I do want to try it.
We're
because
gonna
it's
find you
different.
one.
Yeah.
Look, our life goal now is to find an Amberana that you actually like.
Of course, we get so many good reels from it that we
Yeah,
can just
we're just
put on
gonna
there.
go through.
You guys just want more of me being disappointed on camera. You're just gonna
yes.
clip it like
We have enough of them. We just gotta clip them, and then we'll make a little short, and we'll have nothing but you with your disappointed lane face.
You know what, Christian? That's actually a fairly good price for Lost Cities.
that's
35
not
a
bad.
piece. That is
Yeah.
actually.
Oh, that's a fantastic
that's
price for those.
Lost Cities. Oh,
Yeah,
I
because
love
don't
that
they
cigar.
normally go for like 50?
It's-
Oh, dude, in Vegas they're
it's-
like 85.
Yeah.
Yeah, Lost Cities are expensive,
Yeah.
but it's really good.
That's a good cigar.
I've had it. I know it's good.
It's an opus. I don't like to shell out for opuses. I will shell out for a Lost City.
Oh, I mean, if I saw it for $35,
Yeah,
like
in a heartbeat.
wouldn't ask questions.
Does
Take my money.
Dion carry them?
He gets a box of Lost Cities in every now and then.
Okay.
But I think he's right around the 65 range.
Okay.
Give or take.
Well, and Dion's prices are pretty competitive.
Yeah, he's pretty
Yeah.
fair. So 65 isn't bad compared
Right.
to like the Vegas 85, 90. But for 35, that's a
That's
killer
an
deal.
everyday buy right there.
Yeah,
almost.
that's almost worth buying
So
every day.
So if I pick up the clubs from Casey on Monday, which is
I'll
tomorrow,
figure it out.
you'll figure it out.
I'll get
'Cause-
it when you come back up. I'll come to you.
Okay.
Yes.
Because I was thinking about if I'm going to go Reno tomorrow, I'm going to go skiing on Tuesday and Wednesday. Is what I'm thinking.
Yeah, I'll probably grab them from you when you come back from Reno tomorrow.
Right.
Because I'll be getting off the mountain.
Oh, okay. Well, what about you? Won't be going on Tuesday? Or will you be going on Tuesday on the mountain?
If I snowboard tomorrow, there's going to be some golf. The weather's going to get nice. I need to go get them extended and regrip. So I'll go to Reno tomorrow.
Oh, you can get them extended?
Yes.
Yes.
So they just replace the whole shaft, keep the head. And...
No, you can do that, but I don't need that. I just get plugs.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is that just a longer grip with a extension in it?
No, it's a little carbon fiber plug usually that they stick in that adds the length.
Like on
and
the-
I'm not getting they'll go 3/4 over
On the foot or the handle?
the grip.
The grip?
Up on the grip.
Okay.
So you are going to go to Reno tomorrow?
No, I'll probably go to Reno on Tuesday.
Tuesday.
I mean, unless I get up after this, unless we're gonna be here till 3 in the morning. If I get up tomorrow and I'm just thrashed, I do have to go drop off a pass for someone, and then I was gonna go up after. But if I am just beat,
Right.
then I'll go drop off the pass in street clothes, and then I'll run all my errands, and I'll try and go up on Tuesday.
There you go.
Yeah, because I was going to see if you wanted to go up on Tuesday.
Okay. Then maybe I'll do that. Well, I'll figure it out.
What time do you, if you get started on Tuesday, what time do you think you want to get started? 10?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
I'm not getting started at 10 tomorrow. You're crazy.
Well, that-
Christian
No,
got
I'm
those in
talking
Dallas.
Tuesday.
We'll
I'm
have to go
talking
to Dallas.
Tuesday.
Yeah.
At some
Christian
point.
got those in Dallas.
we haven't been there.
Of
in a
course, dude, Texas subsidizes tobacco. It's my only explanation for it.
No, they just keep stealing them.
while. Fair.
It's still that lost
It's still that lost.
Connex
It's
box.
that lost Connex
Yes.
box. I know where it is. It's in Texas. Because clearly, Fuentes are way too cheap in Texas for that not to be where the stolen Connex box ended up.
Texas kills me, right? Like, don't get me, like I love Texas. I have a ton of family there, super friendly people.
It's a fun place.
But-
Too many hills, not enough mountains.
I can tell by the way someone's looking at cigars in our shop in the humidor. if they're from Texas.
Yes.
Because they'll pick up some random Monte Cristo or something, and they'll look at me and they'll be like, I pay $7.95 for this down at the gas station where I live. And you just know. I'm like, dude, I don't pay $7.95 for that cigar, and I pay wholesale.
Yeah.
Right.
Like, I don't know what they're doing. Like, they have tobacco magic. Like, it's stupid. Yeah.
Because they steal Connex boxes.
That has to be
That's
it.
the only way. You just steal them, then you're not
it's-
paying anything,
hey.
and then you can charge whatever you want because you don't care.
It's the yee way.
Yeah. This-
Says the guy dying over there. Disappointed lane face.
oh, my God.
Sound effects are back.
Yeah, they are. It's about time.
That's right.
We should have kept that over here.
So anyway, in Formula One.
Oh,
Yes.
yeah.
Oh, yeah,
yes.
the Max Verstappen not moment.
So thankfully, this is one of the few races that I do not have to sacrifice sleep and or just wait to watch the next day. It was on at 9
Yeah,
p.m.
you just watched it at
It
work.
was just
Nice.
here. It was just on. And I had people come in like, hey, you want to watch Formula One? Put it on the TV. I was like, oh, hell yeah, it's going to be on the TV. Forget March Madness. We're talking Formula One, baby. But, we're waiting. And the race starts. And, of course, Max is in first.
Of course.
And he just takes off. And you're like, oh, Australia is not going to be exciting today. Lap 4, he goes, my brakes don't work. And right as he says that, the camera finds Max, and there's this plume of smoke coming off the back of his car. And I was like, nah, I don't think those are brakes. That's a lot of smoke. So he's babying at home, dropping down positions. And I'm like, all right, maybe it's just a little coverall from the helmet or something. They'll pull it out, and he'll be back in the race, and he'll just have to come back from 6th or 7th. He pulls in the pit lane. The entire rear cake tin, which is what holds all of the brake components,
Okay.
exploded. Just
In the pit?
on the pit lane road, it just exploded. Just this huge explosion. I was like, oh, I thought the engine threw a rod or something. It was big. And then he pulls into the pit box, and the back of his car is just on fire. And like dudes are running out there with fire extinguishers. And he
And
was
you-
out.
you
and
were
we
happy
were
about it?
all celebrating. We're like, oh, this is going to be a
Yeah,
fantastic
what did
race.
you say? No one has cheered that loud in F1 in years?
Yes, exactly. The noise was deafening.
Because
what
it was a
about-
real race at that point.
It was legitimately entertaining to watch.
What about their second driver, Perez? Right?
Checo had
Oh,
a penalty, and so he was sixth.
Penalty and bad timing.
Yeah, and he decided, I'm going to change these medium tires that I'm on right at the end of the virtual safety car that was going on. So he didn't get the 10-second boost saving on the pit stop, and he would drop back to like 12th.
Ooh.
And then he had to fight his way back up, and he just wasn't having a good day. That Red Bull car didn't look good in
Where did he
Australia.
end up?
He ended up 6th.
Well, it didn't look good
Yeah.
with him driving in Australia.
Yeah, no, this is true.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you what, those Ferraris, man.
Now, could
They're
they?
I
Pretty.
think they're fast. I don't know what they're going to do to catch up. I mean, unless they get Newey next year.
Oh yeah, they need.
I mean, I keep seeing that rumor, but I can't imagine that there isn't an amount of money that Red Bull won't pay for him.
No, like I said, the Ferrari deal is this: Adrian Newey goes to Ferrari if he gets to design a road car,
Yeah.
which will then be the #1 selling Ferrari of all time. Because
Well, if-
everyone who knows anything about Adrian Newey is going to go, "I want that Ferrari."
Yeah, except they're going to make 6 of them.
No, they'll make 10, and then they'll say they only made 6.
That's right.
It's the Ferrari way.
So
So, question. Wait a minute. I have a question regarding Red Bull. Can they swap drivers, or is that driver married to that car?
No, what do you mean?
So, Vax. So, Max came in
Yes.
and blew up his rear end.
Yes.
All right. So, his partner is.
No, you cannot have Checo come into the pits and swap out the car driver.
Well, no,
That-
hold on.
They removed that rule a long time ago.
apparently you can do it before the race, though.
Yes.
Because
so,
what's his face gave up his car.
so
Only before.
in free practice 1, Alex Albon decided to hit the wall with his Williams.
Hard.
Very, very hard. He damaged the frame. And Williams is already having difficulties right now. It turns out they were running the entirety of their inventory system off of a poorly put together Excel spreadsheet.
Really?
Yes.
Yeah, all 30,000 parts, whatever
all
it is.
30 bajillion parts that go into building an F1 car were on a Excel spreadsheet. And this is an Excel spreadsheet that not people were updating and
geez.
wasn't telling you if parts had been inspected by the FIA, hadn't been inspected, were in development, were not developed. So it was a disaster, which is why they waited till the day of to build their car because they were still finding parts. And so they were having a bad day already and a bad start to their season, really. So they didn't have a spare car. So
Oh, wow.
Jeez.
they said, you know who can't drive for shit?
The American.
The American, Logan Sargent, who's going to be 19th if we let him drive. Well, actually, he would have been 17th because 3 people didn't finish.
Yeah, that's assuming he finished.
Assuming he finished and didn't crash to be the 14th guy to crash, they said, hey, we're going to give your car to Alex. And he was like, yeah, okay, go ahead, whatever. You know, it's fine. So they stole the one car they had and gave it to Alex, and he finished 13th. So
Real quick, so Christian commented about the draconian corkage laws in Texas.
What is that?
It used to be in Texas. I don't know if it's still the case. It was one of the only states where the ABC could actually walk into the bar and cite a bartender for over-serving while they were over-serving
really?
in the bar.
Wow.
And that went away now, or
I don't know. I haven't looked into it.
'Cause what's
it was
this-
something that came up years ago, and I went, oh,
he said it's a drawback of being
in Texas. Yeah.
Oh,
The
so it's
downside
still- so it's
is
still a
that
thing.
their liquor laws are a little bit draconian.
Wow.
So
Okay.
is Oklahoma, though.
Do they do the same thing?
No, not quite as bad. They're just they're all state stores, like closed on certain days, like Utah and Oregon,
yeah.
I think, still, and
Oh, I got you.
some other random states that are like, we're going to make it really difficult to buy alcohol because we don't think people are going to get it anyway. As if we didn't disprove that theory in Prohibition 100 years ago,
Or like we won't go across state lines to get it.
right?
right?
People-
I
people
drove to
do.
Utah for whiskey.
I know, I'm waiting for you to go back or for us to find somebody out there.
We need someone. Actually, you know what?
I
I
need
should
that
I should
Blu-ray.
ask James's brother for us.
Is he in Utah?
No, but he's not in Utah. He's in Texas
Ooh.
because he lives in Texas.
We need to find some connections for barrel picks because there's been a dearth of good barrel picks around here lately.
Yeah.
Like we're gonna do another review tonight. Well, it's a barrel pick, but I don't have a second one, and there's just been nothing good.
Yeah.
So we need to make James pick us some.
So something
good
from
stuff.
Pinkies.
Yeah. I mean,
Get Pinky back in this.
I
Oh
think-
wait, I actually talked to him. He knew Pinkies.
Yeah. Remember you were talking to him.
Yeah.
Yeah. He knows where to go for us.
Oh yeah.
So he can just send him to James for us, and James will bring him up for us. And then Gerald, he has a house in Georgia. So if we ever need something from Georgia, we can just make Gerald go.
Oh,
for
I need
us.
him to find me some 13th Colony Double Oak next year or this year.
He's
Where's
got a
that?
house. I think his house is close to Greg Lloyd's.
Oh,
I think they live in the same area.
that wouldn't surprise me in the slightest.
Yeah, because the way he was describing where he lives in Georgia, I was like, I know that because I think that's where Greg lives.
So one of the girls that works for me is super young. She's still in high school, and she's doing a podcast on racism's effect on mental health,
Oh, yeah.
as it continues through today. And that's why I asked you to pass that on to Ed, right?
Yes, I'm waiting to hear back from Ed.
But then I also pass it on to Charlie to pass on to the guys that he hangs out with in celebrity golf.
Oh yeah.
And so she's standing, and I actually put her on the phone with Charlie. I'm like, you guys hook up, like, change information, and you'll take care of this. And then a couple other people I can ask for some other, like, ex-football, ex-baseball players, right?
Yeah.
All because of this place and the cigar thing. But she's completely blown away. She's like, wait, do you know these people? I'm like, well, I mean, know them in that, like, I sell them things. Yeah.
Yes. I have sat with them and smoked and talked.
Yeah. But she's like, how did you meet them? I'm like, cigars. It's the cigar thing. Like, that's the connection.
Oh yeah.
Now, what's her podcast? What's the issue that she's brought up? Mental health?
Yeah, so the racism effect on mental health. So there's this thing, they, like, at this point, they've done studies on, specifically mostly on African Americans, right, coming into the country.
Okay.
And when they come into the country, they have more or less the same mental health as, like, white Americans in this country.
Oh, okay.
And then very quickly, their mental health devolves into what is sort of the standard mental health of African Americans in this country. So there's an effect there, right? And there's probably a lot of reasons for it. It's probably not just racism. There's probably some socioeconomic, which also probably bleeds into some racism.
Well, it's environmental.
Yes, socioeconomic
Okay.
is what I mean. I think we mean the same thing.
Yeah. Okay.
So she's doing a podcast on it. It's her senior project.
Ah.
And I mean, she's like, well, I've gotten some, like, there's not many African American snow athletes out there. There's some, but not a bunch.
Right.
But she has, part of it is specific to athletics.
Ah.
And I was like, there might be some people, like, it's a reach. Like, don't count on it. It's a long shot. But there might be some people that are willing to help with this that I can hook you up with. So I asked some people to reach out, like the people that I know that,
Right. Right.
have a solid enough relationship that they can make these asks. And I was like, hey, do you mind making these asks? And they're like, no, that sounds great. Like, I'll do that. I'm like, cool.
Nice.
It's all. Oh,
So when is hers? Podcast.
So it's a single podcast, and she can't publish it before she presents it. So it's going to be about a year. So she's going to spend a year doing interviews, and she also has to do a full length, probably 150 page report. Like, it's going to be a whole project.
it's
And-
almost,
and
almost
she's
sounds
in
like a
high school?
doctorate.
Yes.
And she's wow.
Wow.
So she's got to be advanced magnet, whatever you want to call her.
I don't know. I mean, she's incredible hard worker, like super smart. I mean,
Yeah, got to be.
she's doing it right.
Yeah, sounds like it.
And yes,
That's-
Christian,
Oh.
Lane dies a little bit every time we make him try Ambarana, which is part of the reason we do it.
That's right. We love it.
I tried not to crap on it. I did. I gave it a solid effort.
You
did.
You liked the finish, just not the palate.
Well, it's not that I like the finish
It's not
with
like
the flavors, but when I talk about finishes, I talk about the same thing to chefs, right? What I want is a dish where all the flavors finish together. Right? They start to fade. Everything's faded about the right amount of time, and then you can enjoy, the side dish or some of the wine that you have or some of the whiskey that you have, and then that finishes together. And as it starts to fade, then you add again. Right? So it all complements itself as a presentation for a meal.
Right.
Like, this
Interesting.
is the experience you're looking for when you build something for other people. And the finish on that Penelope was exactly that. None of the astringency held on. The finish finished with the sweetness, like a sweetness that I don't enjoy, but a sweetness nonetheless, right? So it was pleasant, like it didn't bite, and it all sort of faded together just in time for the next thing.
So you put your bias aside.
I mean, I still scored it a 72.
That's not bad for you, though.
For an Ambarana, that's pretty high for you. That's,
Yeah.
We'll take that.
But yeah, I wasn't as nice as these guys were.
Well, he gave it a 90
was
something. I gave it an
delicious.
80 something.
It's delicious.
We had one in each category.
Yep.
70, 80.
And then
90.
it got worse, Will. You missed it. Because they're like, what would you pair it with? And I went, oh my God, I don't want to say it out loud.
And then he had to.
I'd pair it with an acid. Like something else I would never smoke.
Was that last week's?
Yeah.
Was that last week's podcast?
That was
Yeah.
last week's.
I started to watch it, but I didn't get very far into it.
So we know what our next review cigar is going to be
And I asked, no.
with an Ambarana.
Like I said, I will not do that to you.
We
guys.
won't.
I mean, that one, listen, I was fair to the Ambarana. I will not be fair
No,
to an
I-
acid.
I know,
yeah,
but it'll be
no.
fun to watch.
I sell enough of them. Like, I'm okay with that. Not going to score that cigar high.
No, it would not.
Oh, I won't even.
I hope they never
won't-
watch
yeah.
this.
Just out of spite for Casey.
Will's like, I'm sick that day.
No, it's called. Have you got,
We won't tell you.
You know what? I've scored 100, right? You know what I haven't scored?
A
zero.
Zero.
I mean, I wouldn't score it a 0.
Oh, I would.
You give it negatives at that point.
I wouldn't.
No.
I wouldn't even take it out of the cellophane and score it a 0.
But it would
Flavor,
be comedically low.
Will's like, married.
Very
I can't believe it.
I'd be like, how many categories are there? 4? Who are the famous number 4s in history? I
Junior.
believe Lou
There you
Gehrig
go.
was 4.
Lou Gehrig, yep.
Yeah.
Dale Earnhardt Senior.
Yeah.
No,
that's-
yeah.
What?
no?
Dale Earnhardt Sr.
Was
Yeah, but-
3?
Number 3.
Number
Number 3, yeah.
Give me your
Yeah.
give me your American card right now.
I don't have one.
How do you not
I
know?
don't have one.
Dude, that's on the citizenship test. How do you not know that?
It's been such a long time since I've seen a
Nobody
race.
forgets 3, man.
Guess
Come
what?
on.
Guess what? This guy did.
Unbelievable.
He's not even a NASCAR guy.
Yeah, even
He's
I
an
know that.
F1 guy.
He likes racing in general.
Hey,
so
Kevin,
I mean, yeah.
Kevin, you and I are in the same boat.
See, look
man.
at that.
What? How?
Who was number 4 then?
Unbelievable.
Who was number 4?
You know who was number 4?
No.
Nobody gives a shit because number 3 is where it's at.
I don't know
Fair.
who. I mean, I don't know a
28.
lot of NASCAR numbers.
Brett Favre was number 4.
Well, Brett Favre was number 4, yeah.
Yeah.
Go back to football.
Brett Favre.
Num-
Favre.
number 4. I know who number 24 was.
He hit Brett
that was,
Favre.
He was a recent one, wasn't he?
Oh, you know
In
what? I think
NASCAR?
Christian
Yeah.
was from. I think he's originally from Wisconsin.
Oh, okay.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, that
Yeah.
makes a lot of sense that he would know Brett Favre first.
No, 24 in NASCAR. Come on.
His name's there. I can see it.
It's we mentioned him
Not
last
Jeff.
week.
Wait, I
know.
can't even
Jeff
tell you what
Gordon.
I know,
yeah.
and
Yes,
that's why
Jeff Gordon.
Jeff Gordon.
It is
Gordon.
Jeff Gordon.
It is
yes.
Jeff Gordon.
Jeff Gordon is number 24.
I know it.
It was the 2448 building is one of the most storied buildings in NASCAR because it was two of the best drivers in history.
Right. What about the Unsers, though?
Nebraska. I'm sorry. My
I mean,
apologies.
weren't the Unsers family? Wasn't that a fairly predominant family in NASCAR?
yeah,
Yeah.
that's who Davy Jones was going to call at 3 in the morning.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
That was
Was-
funny because, like, we're sitting there and just casually, Court goes, well, he won the 24-hour of Le Mans. Like, the dude's sitting in a chair in our shop, and he's like, well, he won the 24-hour of Le Mans. In case he's like, silently, like, wait, hold on, what the fuck? Like, what?
I was
What
like-
now?
I was like,
Yeah.
Oh.
no.
Speechless?
No,
Not you.
no, I was just sitting here quietly, and then I was like on my phone. I'm like, I'm going to Google, and I was like,
What's his name?
Google. I'm like, okay, Le Mans winner. Google that, and then I just went down the list, and I'm like, Davy Jones. I pulled up a picture. I'm like, oh, that's the dude. Holy shit, he did win Le Mans.
Speaking of Google, I saw Gutfeld the other night, and they were saying that the artificial intelligence, or DEI, I don't have it, digital enhancement something,
yeah.
will not pick up, will always, not always. So when you search for a white person,
Oh, no, it was Gemini. It's their AI. Google's AI is Gemini.
Google's AI,
Oh, okay.
Gemini. So
They're trying to fix that. They took a lot of heat.
I'll bet. So I can't articulate it probably as well as you can, but basically, there's no white people anymore.
No, like, to the point where someone was like, draw me a picture of George Washington, and he was African American.
Yeah, yes, and that's not the reason they got in trouble, though.
Why'd they get in trouble?
The reason they got in trouble is because Google decided to rebrand certain officers from World War II and depict them as people of other nationalities.
Ooh.
Of color.
Yes, and they weren't.
I'm waiting. I don't
You know, they were on the other side. You know,
like the German officers.
Yes,
yes,
the German
the
officers.
German officers were a collection of many people of color, and all those tweets have now been taken offline. But the pictures were very interesting.
They're probably
Oh, I'm
still
sure
there
they got
somewhere.
smoked for that.
Here's the thing about AI, and I've seen it work. In the thing I think it should be utilized for the most. I'm sorry, I used the word utilize.
Yeah, you did.
I know
You
you
utilized
cringed a
it
little
really
bit.
well.
It should be programmed into streaming services for older television,
For older television.
because I've seen now a lot of these clips of older TV where they use AI to enhance them into high definition, and it's fantastic.
Is it really?
And I'm like, why is that not why don't you just program that into your streaming service to just automatically enhance everything, so you don't have to pay someone to sit there and do it just do it that way.
Do you think it would be it's not cost effective, or
I-
they
it's
haven't?
probably not
they have-
reliable.
and also they haven't figured out how to monetize it.
You probably had.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, I
you
might put an
monetize
AI
it the way you monetize all media content at this point through subscriptions.
Yeah,
True.
exactly. You just pay for
And
the AI.
and they're already doing that. So why go to the added expense?
Like, what just happened is someone heard that and is now calling someone else, and it's going to show up in, like,
3 months.
yeah.
Thank God, because you know how long I've been waiting for Deep Space Nine to be high definition.
You just gave that away. You just gave it away.
So actually, you know, it's funny because I figured out what's wrong with TV these days.
Oh, yeah?
I
What's
have,
that?
I have figured it out.
Can't wait for this.
Big brain over there.
This came to me while I was watching The West Wing,
But of course,
but of course, because I've been watching The West Wing.
It's not that they have writers that can't write.
It's part of that, but let's go back to TV for about the good chunk of TV, late '90s.
Oh, is this your
2000s.
60 episode theory?
No,
Oh, see,
no.
I was
the
think-
60 episode theory is part of it.
I was
but-
thinking you're going to go back to the 40s, 50s, Matt Dillon and Gunsmoke.
Well,
and
so
Bonanza.
in the 40s and 50s, right? TV is predominantly like cowboys and
Yeah, yeah.
American war heroes. We,
Yeah.
we were coming off World War II.
Right.
So we were making TV that match that feeling, right?
Right.
I mean, we had the hero, we had John Wayne, and we had the anti-hero, Clint Eastwood.
Exactly. So that was the thing, right?
Right.
And then you got into
But that was 60s.
60s.
Anyway.
But then you got to like the original series of Star Trek, right? But that's 63 comes out.
Oh yeah.
And
With
it
Kirk.
and it
Yeah.
portrays it's science fiction, but it
Right.
talks about real world events and things that are happening.
Yeah, it integrates them.
Yeah,
Sure.
but it still tells a story. Mm-hmm. And that trend kind of continues into the 70s and 80s. And then, in the 80s, we had action movies where we were fighting terrorists and it was cool. Big Arnold Schwarzenegger movies, action,
Right.
stuff like that.
Bruce Willis and
And,
Die
and
Hard.
it was fine. Like, we were not afraid to paint the picture of, like, the Russians being the bad guy.
Well,
Right?
we've been doing that
We
for a
should
Yeah,
still do
like
that.
that.
Yeah.
But there's no bad guys in TV anymore. There's no villains. There's no like storytelling about current events, like the way the West Wing portrays current events. Even though it's fiction, they still talk about real things, right? Real events that are going on.
Sure.
So the Star Trek did the same thing. Like in The Next Generation, they talk about real science that was happening during the 90s.
So you
that they
want-
portrayed into telling stories in science fiction in the future.
Okay, so you want AI to do what with
Well, I don't
that?
want AI. I want people. I want us to tell stories and be smart in our
this
writing.
is the trouble with
Yeah, I don't need the same. It's this. Every TV show is the same now. It's just this mindless, long Lord of the Rings delivery system where it's like we took 3 movies to walk a ring 20 miles, and then we decided to throw it in the fire and we were done because we just had anything else to write.
I didn't care for
His
Lord of the Rings.
his go-to, I like Lord of the Rings.
I know you
His go-to for terrible everything starts with the Lord of the Rings.
Yes, it
Yes,
does.
I
That's
like
okay.
the Lord of the Rings. It's fantastic, but we've seen it before, and it's got 3 hours in a director's cut, and you're like, okay, how many times have you watched it since you've seen it the first time?
Lord of the Rings?
Yes.
Well, you got to remember, I put on stuff that I've seen before, so I don't have to pay attention.
Okay, maybe you're not the right person to ask. When was the last time you paid attention to something you were watching?
Oh, Shogun.
Yeah,
Shogun.
which tells a story about real historical facts, and it's written well.
Yes, with real bad guys, with real good guys,
Yes,
Um,
and
with a competent protagonist.
yeah,
2 competent protagonists. Actually, 3 competent protagonists, if we're being...
but it tells the story. It's smart.
So
The stuff
sure-
on TV
Well, it's
now
because
is just
writers don't
boring.
understand subtext anymore, man. They just say the
know.
thing. Like, here's... All right, the number 1 rule of persuasion.
Wait a minute. Let's back up for a second. Shogun.
I haven't seen it
You're
yet.
not going to watch it because you have
It's
to
got
read it.
subtitles. You're going to hate it.
Yeah.
So you sat down and watched the subtitles, Lane?
Yes, it's fantastic.
because he had to.
It's one of the best things
Yeah.
I've seen on TV in a long time.
Okay, I'm surprised that you actually didn't just have it in the background.
No, I
that's my
sat down
astonishment.
and watched it.
He would if he spoke Japanese.
Yeah, that's probably true. No,
Got it,
Shogun
got it.
is fantastic.
Okay.
Like, it's incredibly well done.
What's it on?
Hulu.
Okay.
Yes, it's fantastic. Yes.
I mean, it feels like you're in feudal Japan. It doesn't feel like you're on a set. It's incredible.
It's a movie that
It's
puts
a series.
It's
It's
a
a
series.
miniseries.
Oh, it's a
It's a
series.
series.
So,
Yeah.
so it's a series that puts you in there. It gives you the feeling of being there, which doesn't happen often anymore.
Yeah, exactly. It's the world is built just perfect. Like from the moment it starts, you're just like, I am in feudal Japan.
That's
Well, and along with the story, like the story and the world building happen together.
Yes.
see, and
Interesting.
I watch anime for that reason because there's always a story behind it.
Yeah.
I know you don't watch anime.
I
but
wasn't going to
it's
say anything.
I
Just
know.
let it go.
fine. I know it's okay.
No, but I mean, Shogun's really good.
I am
but-
glad it is. I gotta watch it.
But the rest of the stuff on TV is just terrible.
Well, again, okay, from the writer's side, right? So this is the thing. When you're talking about persuasion, there's always the last thing that you don't say, right? Because in persuasion, you want them to come to the conclusion, the final conclusion,
Okay.
right? Now, you let that step, like in car sales, you would let the last thing happen. You let them decide to buy the car,
Right.
And then you ask for the close when you think they've decided to buy the car, right? Now you still have to give the direct request for the close because that promotes the sale. But you don't say the last thing. You don't say, this is a good car for you because. You let them figure that part out. You just figure the components that help them make that decision.
Yeah.
So what happens if you
It's-
ask them? Why is this a
You-
good car for me?
then you lose the value of them coming to that decision themselves.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right? So, when you're telling a story, you do the same thing. There's a bit of discovery that has to happen on the other side of the speaker. You can't do it yourself. They have to do it for you. So what you do is you put together enough subtext and enough cues that they assemble the parts in a way that makes sense for them, and then they build it themselves.
Okay.
But writers don't know how to do that anymore. Now they just say the thing. Like, you want someone to believe that someone's a bad guy before you give them a bunch of pieces that show that person's a bad guy. You never say that they're a bad guy. Now they just come out and they're like, that's a really bad guy. Like, that's writing today. And
Yeah.
it's fucking terrible.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, it is. It's atrocious.
Will's just laughing at me.
No, I'm not laughing. Well, yeah, I am.
Let's
I mean, I'm trying not to, but it's
let's
like,
be fair. Well, the least picky person on TV in here is you.
that's true. Yeah. But, it's funny is I've been having troubles finding stuff I want to watch.
That's because you're listening to us now and you're starting to notice the things we're talking about.
No, I think what it is I just have too many options.
Oh, there's that too.
I mean, it's like I've got YouTube, I've got Monica.
You've got Monica?
Yeah. Will does. Will has Monica.
One of you do.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I got YouTube, I got Netflix, I got Prime Video, I've got Hulu, I got Disney, although I haven't been watching any Disney.
Well, that's because there's nothing on
Yeah,
Disney to
I know
watch.
there isn't.
Yeah.
But there's all this stuff that's just so much. It's like I can't even tell what it is I want to watch anymore.
Dude, I was
I
watching.
get confused.
I was watching one of the film review podcasts. I don't remember which one, because all the people show up on all the other podcasts now.
Yes.
But they did say something that was really poignant as far as I was, because they were talking about, like, when Disney bought Marvel and Star Wars, everyone's really excited, right? Like, what are they going to do with this? I can't wait for them to produce my favorite part of this universe, right? Whether it's Star Wars or like all the Legends material, or you're part of the MCU, like your favorite hero. And now we've got to a point where most of that audience is like, please don't touch the thing that I like. Like, don't kill that for me.
Yes.
Like, don't ruin it. Wait for your company to kill the whole thing, sell it off, and let someone else try, because you're gonna F it up.
Hey, Lane, there's a comment directed towards you.
Oh, what do we got? It's not loading on mine. Oh. I can't. Christian, I really hope that you like it. I am not a Davidoff fan for any number of reasons. I hope you enjoy it.
I saw it. I was like, oh, don't do that. Don't do
I
that.
was like, you gonna read it? I'm like, nah, I'm just gonna say it's
I mean,
directed.
Don't do that.
Okay, in his defense, most of the people, including Schmody, who smoke Davidoffs, adore them.
Yes.
For whatever reason, it's one of those cigars that just doesn't fit my palate.
I've
it's-
never liked Davidoff either.
When
I-
somebody
I
does
will-
like Davidoff, they like Davidoff.
I will
have
fall
to
on the
admit.
sword lane. That one you had was actually fairly decent.
Oh, the Winston?
The Winston Churchill.
That was a good
is,
cigar.
is surprisingly actually okay.
And it's a Davidoff.
Yes.
I'm not going to say the word, but yes,
It's a D cigar.
yes, it's one of those.
No, I enjoyed the hell out of that
the
cigar.
Winston it was actually surprisingly
The only
very good.
one. Got it. If I find that one, try it.
You know what my biggest problem with Davidoff is? What they're like, most of their business is the same business as Monte Cristo, right?
Yes.
Yes,
Mild, incredible quality control.
Yep.
Draw test everything. Like, the cigar is going to be beautiful. It's going to be well taken care of. It's going to smoke well. It's a little light for my palate, even when I'm smoking Connecticut's, but that's fine.
yeah,
My biggest problem with Davidoff is their once a year, like year of the whatever, Nicaraguan, because I don't think they know how to blend Nicaraguan tobacco. It's always too bitter for me.
yeah.
Do you
And
think?
that's, but again, that's one of Schmody's favorite cigars. Like, he adores that
I'm
cigar.
about to say, if you let it age, do you
He
think
buys
it get better?
boxes of them.
Ooh.
I don't know. I've never had one that had a lot of age on it because they sell out so fast.
Christian's got gems.
Right? Yeah, Christian, there's a couple of videos. There's one, you'd have to go way back, and I'm smoking a Davidoff in here, and I'm not friendly to it.
No,
That said, that the Churchill was amazing.
Yeah, the Churchill.
It was incredible.
It's a standout of the entire line.
Like, it's not just the best Davidoff I've ever had. Like, it's probably in, a group of 50 cigars that I would absolutely pay for and smoke again on a regular basis.
Yes.
So we should pick you one up when we go to Flamak.
If they have them.
If you pay Davidoff money and it's not a Padron 50th, the amount of shit that I will give you
He will beat
is
you.
never ending.
So
He
don't
will
get it.
beat you.
Wait a minute. What?
He'll hit you in the face.
So
one
if
of
I
the-
actually paid for a Davidoff?
if you paid Davidoff money, you're talking about a $50 to
$120,
$80
yeah.
cigar.
Oh.
If you paid Davidoff money for a cigar and you don't walk into this room with a Padron 50th for the same dollar amount,
Yeah, I'm going to get riddled.
we're going to have a conversation.
It's not a
It's gonna be some
conversation.
furniture moving up. In
I
here.
have to admit, I would be more inclined to buy a Padron than I would be a Davidoff.
Yes, because it's good.
Yes.
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 But I mean, listen, like, I can't badmouth. Like, I can badmouth Davidoff personally. You can't. First of all, as a company, they've done a brilliant job,
Yes.
There you go.
And on top of that, the people that like them seem to really genuinely like them a lot.
True.
And they do have
Like-
one of the nicest cigar lounges in all of London.
I mean, Schmody's probably paying $5,000 a year just for the year of boxes that he buys every year.
Really?
Yeah, it's like a $75 cigar.
Oh, wow,
And he's
okay.
buying multiple boxes.
Interesting.
I don't think I paid.
But
that.
he's aging them too, right?
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
he
he
is.
is-
I think he smokes through one box and ages the rest.
Do you think
he's
that
been
helps
pretty smart about that.
with the bitter?
You know what? I'm going to make him bring up one with age and see if it ages out. But it's not bitter like a young Cuban. It's bitter in a different way.
Like it's been flavored?
It's bitter like it's a flavor in the tobacco that's bitter, not like it's an extra element like ammonia or something that needs to break down over time.
Got
That's
it.
what I was
It's
wondering.
like
if it was
Candela
like-
bitter.
Yeah.
Like
Okay.
it's in the
yeah.
in the
You
actual
don't even
structure
like
of the leaf
Candela.
because they're too bitter.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I love that Saka put what his Candela, which he comfortably refers to as one of the worst Candelas he's ever had, in his Toro or in his Lancero pack, because everyone asked for it.
Yep.
And he's like, I don't know why you want this. It's awful. Like, it's terrible.
But we'll make it.
Yeah, but I'll throw it in there.
I'll
That's
throw
right.
it in
You're
there.
welcome to
I'll
it.
make some money off of it.
Yeah. That's,
Did you see what he's charging for that cutter, Casey?
Not yet. I have
$332.50.
I'm sorry. For what?
That's a disappointed Casey
for
face.
like-
I know. When we sell what I'm pretty
like a
convinced
box?
is the best straight cutter you can buy for $28.
Like you get a box of these cutters, or
Yeah.
do you just get one of them?
I mean, I like the idea of having a fancy cutter, but these Jetline H steels are so good.
Yeah.
Like,
They're-
why?
They're fancy enough.
I would just untake this out of the plastic casing and put it in a nice casing because it's got screws, so we can just take the blades out.
Right?
We can Frankenstein a very nice cutter and make it a 101.
Well, listen, the $500 cigar that I want to sell is going to be much better.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Much better.
Don't say that. On the
I'm
internet.
not. It's not going on the
We're
podcast.
not saying
Don't
it.
say it.
Yeah. No, it won't. Because we're going to produce it.
One day.
Yeah.
Someday.
Soon.
Hopefully soon.
Hopefully.
It's going to be amazing.
We gotta
If
find a guy.
if people like, comment, and subscribe, we'll get there.
Right?
Yeah, that'd be nice.
I did have somebody ask us about T-shirts.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Yes.
really?
Disappointed late face shirt.
No, just like a T-shirt for
I-
the brand. But
okay.
I'm
Look at that
totally
face.
down.
There
As
it is
funny
again.
as you think that is,
It's-
no one's buying that shirt.
What are you talking about? Me and Casey are gonna wear them.
I would wear the shit
So
out of that.
the only two we sell ever.
Yeah, that's fine. We'll buy 10 and
Three.
only have 2.
3.
That sounds
Three.
like a marketing challenge, sir.
That does.
Oh my God. Except it couldn't be a t-shirt with Casey. It'd have to be a bowling shirt. And it would be
That-
the logo over the pocket.
The logo on the pocket, big picture in the back.
Yep. I'm gonna talk to James about making one of those for a prototype.
Oh my God. Oh, by the way, Kelly, if you're watching this, I can just text her, but if you're watching this, there are 2 bottles of at 69 unopened for you whenever you come in.
Let's talk about that
Spicy apple
for a
juice.
second. That video.
The best video we've ever had
That video
on a
is-
scotch that we never should have
is
reviewed.
already up to like 130 views.
Yeah, and listen, we're a very
Yeah.
small podcast at this point.
Yes, so that's
that's pretty
impressive.
good so far.
It's very impressive.
But
It's going to be our most watched video.
By
There's almost
a
no
lot.
way it won't be at some point.
By a lot. That VAT 69 is hilarious.
It just every time you look at it, it's like 5 or 10 more views. You're like, who's watching this?
What's going on? What's going on here?
Haven't
All right,
gotten any comments
So
from
when
it,
it
though?
comes to views, it doesn't. Does it count how many times I've watched it, or just once
No,
I've watched
no,
it? That's
no,
why.
I think you get one, and that's
yeah,
it.
I think it logs you as one.
As long as
person.
you're logged into your account, I think you get one.
They
Yeah.
log it as one now.
Yeah, I think that's how
They
it
used to
works.
log it to where you every time you watched it, it would count it as a view.
No, because I've re-clicked on a few videos and the number hasn't gone up for that. So I know for a fact
I was to
it's.
say because I put some views on a lot of different videos.
Yeah, and you have added one to every single video.
So we're over an hour. Should we light our review cigars?
Are we? We're almost over an hour. Oh, we are.
I'm actually cutting mine right
Hey,
now.
Casey,
Yes.
you're gonna have to scrounge around again.
Oh, you.
Did you
I missed it
steal
like
his-
10 minutes.
You mother.
You remember where I was supposed to record the for
It's all
for
right.
Spotify?
I know how to
Yeah.
get it now.
There's
It's
like
actually
10
not-
minutes that I didn't
it's-
get of him talking.
It's not terribly hard to get these days. So
Yeah,
I know
'cause
how
you
to
know
get
it now.
Yeah, I know
Oh,
how to
did
do
you
it.
miss? Did basically the story that I was telling you about the Austrians?
Yeah, so we got
in
it for
Germany?
the live podcast, not for the Spotify.
Casey,
Nice.
what are we smoking tonight?
I'm so glad Casey
So
knows how to
we
get it.
are smoking the My Father La Gran Apuerta.
Can I tell you, I mean, it's my father, so I probably would have bought it eventually anyway.
Yep.
Yes.
I bought this week because of the almost Carolina but slightly turquoise band. Because I
Yes.
just thought it looked really cool.
Because that's your favorite
Right.
color.
Yeah.
Carolina blue is your favorite color?
Yes.
Look at that. Now we get, and that's what the color the cutter's gonna be.
If they made a Carolina blue color. he
Oh,
would
dude, if
definitely
I could
have
buy
one.
an H steel in Carolina blue,
Yes.
We'll find a way.
Talk to Joel. We'll just be like, Joel, help me out here.
Make this happen.
I cut that a little thin. All right, Casey, what do we need to know about this cigar?
That it's going to blow your mind. I mean,
that's-
it's awesome Nicaraguan peppery deliciousness.
Is it a Puro?
Oh, yes. My father doesn't mess around with that blending stuff. They don't do that. Although they did branch out with that Laranja one, which has that orange zest in it, which is actually kind of pretty good.
Actually, kind of pretty good. You know, I had a girl one time,
Just once?
and I asked her, fucking hell.
I couldn't.
And I asked her, I said, are you ready? Was texting, are you ready? And the response was, I'm so close to almost being ready. That's kind of what just happened. It's sort of like it's almost pretty good. Like, I don't know what that means, but it's probably not negative.
No,
Yeah.
no, it's not.
It's a double negative, so it's a positive?
All right.
Oh, yeah.
So you looked up flavor notes. You cheated.
I didn't look up flavor notes. I just looked how it was built.
Okay.
And in my head, I went,
That's what this is going to smoke like?
this is going to smoke good. Yes.
Yeah, he's
Yes.
lighting it right now, so let's see what the first couple
Yeah,
puffs
first-
do.
Oh, so I watched a video about this, okay?
Of course you did.
About lighting cigars.
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
How we
And-
normally
and
do it, or is there
I-
a certain way?
And I want to tell you that it came from some guys who have been in the industry for many, many years.
Right.
More than us.
Probably more than all of us combined.
Combined, yeah.
Yeah. And they went on this, you have to use the yellow flame of like a lighter, not the torch flame.
Like a Bic lighter.
Yeah, like a Bic lighter, but with a butane version. Like Calibri makes butane versions
Yeah.
of that and stuff like that. And you have to like toast it ever so lightly, and then you whip it around, and then you toast it and you whip it around. And I thought for a minute, I'm like, nobody's got time for this. Like, I'm sorry. I get that that's probably the most optimal way to light a cigar, but for the majority of us lighting cigars, it's to get this bad boy going so we can enjoy the puff
Well,
and be like,
listen, I think they're
Cigar.
right. I
So-
think they're right. But I think you can get most of the way there if you just use the edge of the flame. Like, don't put the flame directly on the cigar.
Yeah.
Right, right.
Yeah.
Because what
exactly.
they're telling you is you can't scorch the cigar on the end. You'll burn it. You'll get a bunch of toxins and char off the first puffs, and it'll never smoke quite right.
Well, Casey's
Yes.
trying it now.
Oh, with a fire?
I'll use my Calibri.
Yeah, I
Look at
think
that.
I think I saw that article as well, Casey.
And I mean, I get it
The
because
guy seemed a little smug.
well, the charring makes sense because you will burn it.
Yeah, you just want to do it lightly.
The electric light.
But in my head,
Jazz.
I was thinking about this, and I'm like, isn't it just going to get to a point after like
You're
the
just
first
mad.
little bit where it's at its optimal level, it's not charred anymore because you've smoked through that char, so it's going to have all the flavors.
Should.
If you
Yeah,
just,
well, but you're
know-
going to pull those char notes to the cigar straight off the bat, right? So they're going to be in the cigar the whole time on some level.
Okay, so
Okay, that makes more sense.
so it won't dissipate.
But
I imagine it's like overcharring a steak.
Okay. Yeah, I could see that.
okay.
That's what you call Cajun season.
I mean, this is immediately fantastic.
Off the rip, yeah.
Yep. Immediately very good.
Yeah, I liked it.
There's a lot of flavors.
I liked
it's
it upon
complex.
first light.
Starting off, yeah. There's
Oh,
like a light woody note in there.
that's a
to
my
begin
father
with.
right there.
Light
Yeah,
creaminess.
it's a my father.
That's a my father. And you know, you can tell because I don't know if you guys pay attention to the bands. And I'm not going to talk a lot about bands, but my fathers, they make different bands for each of their series.
Right.
Yeah.
So this is the traditional pinkish white band. So this is one of their like go-to blends. Instead
Original?
of one of their experimental blends where they change it. Like the Fleur de la Antilles is a My Father, but it does not have the My Father band on it.
Yeah, it
has
changes.
that whole thing.
Can
Yeah,
we carry this?
we can.
I'd rather carry this than the little bijou.
I can find it. Oh, that's good.
Le Grand
Oferta.
Oferta. Oferta. Am I rolling my R too much?
However you want
I don't
to
know
say
what
it.
R you're rolling. You're
Just-
putting an R
just-
before the F.
You added an extra R.
No, Oferta.
Oferta.
Oh, Oferta.
Casey just went to Transylvania real fast.
I want to try this Oferta. It is good. I need something to fill my lungs.
Blah, blah, blah.
Blah.
There it is.
Just
Lane's dying over here, just so you know.
What do you have against my accent? Is it not too much for you? Is it? I used to answer the phone like that when I worked at Diamond.
of course you did.
I'd be like, "Thank you for calling the Diamond Resort. How can I assist you?"
I answer,
Did you really?
yeah. Oh
Oh,
yeah.
gosh.
I answer the phone when the other side AP is calling the girls' dorm. I go, is it China?
Oh, hey, my dad said he got up and read that letter.
He did. Your dad is awesome. Like, he was a champ. He came back at 1:30, stayed there. It didn't start until like 4:30.
Yeah.
And I was there the whole time. I got a nap in going like this. I pulled my glasses off. I
Yeah.
talked to the guy in front of me who I also know. I'm like, don't move. And I put my head down like this and fell asleep. I got 15, 20 minutes, and then I heard him finish and call up for people to come up and speak for the other subject. And I woke up. I'm like, oh, it's almost our time. Put my glasses back on. I'm waiting.
Nice. Was it good?
His dad is a hell of a speaker, and so is the guy in front of me, Thornton. He's a hell of a speaker. And then there's me, and I'm just like rambling because I wasn't going to get up, but there's this one jackass that got up for every single topic. And on this topic, he brought up being locked up for 11 months because he had a doobie. And he was upset, saying this is a criminal conspiracy that you guys are putting together. Nobody does crime. I'm like, what are
Here we
you
go.
on about, guy? And it just pissed me up. And I got up. I'm like, why did I get up? And I was standing in line. I'm like, I can't talk about him. I got to be nice. So I changed up what I was going to say because I had one thing I was going to say. And then I heard him, got up because I was pissed off. And then I changed it.
So what kind of forum is this? What was it that you were attending?
This
that-
was the
County
county
commissioners.
commissioners.
Yeah, it was a meeting.
Oh.
County commissioners meeting.
Yeah.
Oh.
Nice. I thought that was next week.
No, they had
Oh,
one
okay.
on Monday and then one on that other day. But I was up for a long time. I got 2 hours of sleep before I had to go to work.
Nice.
Yeah, it was
Nice.
rough.
Anyway, I was super excited he went and did that.
Your dad's awesome.
Yeah.
He is stellar, and he's more eloquent than I am. And he's like he was trying to leave it for them to read in case he didn't get back.
Yeah.
He made it back, and I'm like, I can read it, but I think you would do better. You're more eloquent like your son. And he's like, oh, he helped out on this. He edited it for me. I'm like, oh yeah, he has some of his stuff in there too. He's like, yeah. I'm like, good. But they went with scenario A, not scenario B.
Well, so this is what
Which
I
is
told this
fine.
is what I told my dad. Is that you're not going to get them to do the right thing in the moment,
No.
right? You have to put enough in front of them that they will be persuaded when they are forced to do the right thing or not that they will do the right thing. but that's down the road. You're talking about months from now.
Well, it was
Like you have to give them something that haunts them until it's time to do the right thing.
right, and they did somewhat of the right thing with going with A.
Yeah.
A eliminates 7 positions, not 14,
Okay.
Oh, okay.
which B would have done, and I think I was on the chopping block for B.
Yeah.
Not 100% sure. I could be wrong.
Are you on the chopping block for A?
No,
Good.
admin is.
And you think they're going to go with it?
They said they were. They put it to a vote, and A was approved.
So do you support?
But they can go back to B.
Would you rather support the A option or the B option?
I'd rather not support either, but A is what we're going to have to go with.
Well, at
we
some
lose
point-
2 well-experienced people that can come in, and if there's a kid in crisis, can bring him out within minutes
Oh, okay.
because they have that experience
They have
over
that
20
skill.
years, and together they have over 40 years.
Nice.
But at some point, I think they're going to have to find a sufficient level of permanent funding, and it's gonna hurt, right? Like that's going to be part of the deal. It's going to be a tough decision for them to make. But if they want to keep it, so what I think my dad's letter was about, and what that was about, was convincing them when it's time to make the decision.
Yes.
Because A is only going to work to some level, right?
Yes.
They're still going to have problems. When it's time to make the decision to lose it or fund it to the level that it needs to be funded at for a permanent fixture, they choose to fund it.
Well, I was looking at something that popped up, and I asked if it was going to help us, and it's not. It's they approved a bill for our state. The governor approved it, or whatever he is, of building a new mental health system for youth. And I'm like, does that help us? No, he said no, not really, because apparently they plan on building a new facility.
Yeah.
With
Oh yeah, it'll have to be its own.
however
facility.
many million they offered up for that. So yeah,
Well, it'll expand services, though.
it will. For the kids, it'll expand the services, which is great.
Right. But for your employment situation, it's not necessarily better.
Well, I mean, it is what it is, and we all come to the understanding of that. But they didn't even offer up like maybe them stepping down into a different position or any of that, which it would ultimately it would just help the kids because it's experience that will get them through and help the kids more. Whereas if you have somebody new there that's under a year or even 2 years, because that's what I'm at, I can bring them out. It takes me a little bit longer, and it's a longer process for me because I haven't quite gotten it down entirely yet.
Yeah,
I
your
don't
skill
have that
set's not there.
experience.
Yeah. Your skill set's not there yet.
No,
And it can
I'm,
be developed.
I'm pretty good. Like sometimes it's quick, sometimes it takes a lot longer.
Yeah. It's going to depend upon the individual that you're trying to bring out.
Yeah,
What's their trauma level?
exactly. And that's the thing is sometimes the trauma level's a lot greater than what I can handle.
Absolutely, yeah.
And I call in those 2 people specifically to come in, and I give them the rundown, and they go in there. 10 minutes later,
Bang.
kid's having a great time, laughing, doing what he has, out of that crisis mode, and going through and thinking for a change and getting it done.
Right.
So I mean, other than that, scenario A is pretty good.
They emotionally grow him into being an adult for that moment.
Yeah, and
That's
that's
basically-
that's our thing. That because some of them are getting to that point where they're 17, 18, they're an adult almost, or they are, and like mentally, you don't think that people 18 are an adult, but they're considered adults in our country.
Right. I mean, sanctioned, considered adult, and then early adulthood. That's really where they're at. They're early adulthood.
Yeah, they're young adults.
Yeah. It's not like, I mean, the word being adult, I think,
Listen, even
gets misused.
even at my age, there's times where I don't want an adult. There's times where I know I have to because
Right.
it's my job as a man, as a father,
Right.
to buck up and do what I have to. They're not quite there yet.
No.
Some of them are though.
Really?
Some of them have to be there. And
Because-
they don't really have a choice.
Because of the environment that they've come out of, you think? Or?
No, because some of them are dads.
Oh.
Yeah, some of them are young. Like,
Right.
you hear about those preteens and teens having kids at 12 and 13.
Yeah.
I see that.
Yeah, I forget about that.
Yeah, and that's the thing. So they have to be an adult. They have to learn how to structure their life. And there's a song that I recently listened to. It's by Dax. He's a rapper on YouTube, but he also does like it's more lyrical.
Okay.
And it has a lot of meaning. And one of them talks about being a man in this day and age. And I'm thinking about using it in part of my boys' council.
Interesting. Yeah, because it's a lot different than when I was growing up as far as being a man and how you define being an adult.
Well,
a
yeah,
man.
and it's been changing forever.
Oh,
and
it
like
always-
it's
yeah.
it's in a point right now where everyone's confused on what it means to be a man and what it means to be an adult. And it's one of those things like, how do you show them? How do you teach them? Do we teach them the old ways where people are saying it's wrong? Or do we teach them some new way that we have no idea if it's going to work or not?
I mean,
And
so becoming an adult and becoming a man essentially has been changing ever since we entered the Industrial Revolution, because prior to that it was the agricultural concept of
Farming.
farming and things of that nature. I mean, and that
And then
was
it
eons. I mean, that was hundreds of
Yeah, because
or thousands of years.
it was farming for, well, it was caveman first. Man had to defend the unit. Then it became farming. Men had to grow, produce the food that you're going to eat and hunt.
Well, I
Then
think
it
that-
became industrial, where men were in the factory working, in the coal mines working. Then you also have war that plays a part of it. You have different things like that. Now, this day and age, there's computers telling you differently. There's all kinds of just outside, just gibberish going in and out of your ears, and you don't know what to pick, what to follow, what is right. Because in rap, you have going through a bunch of women. You have doing hard drugs sometimes in there, and some kids are listening to that, and they're just pulling all that information in and thinking that's part of it, when it's not.
Well, I understand that mentality. I mean, I understand being young. I understand being influenced by hard drugs and music and guiding me when I didn't have the guidance of what it meant to be an adult, a male adult, an adult male. How many different ways can I say that?
And that's the thing; it's different
least
for
3 or
each.
4 more.
Yeah, and it's different for each person, each adult. It's different for each man what you're going through. It's different for
It is,
where
and
you're growing up.
Well, it is and it isn't. It's dependent upon your community and the environment in which you're being guided.
Yeah, and if you don't have that proper environment, you're not going to develop the way that
Well,
is
you
going
get-
to help you the best.
Or what you think is going to help you the best.
Fair.
I mean, there's so many different ideologies that go on. I mean, it's funny. Earlier today, I was thinking, you know, I feel this, I feel that, and I hear a lot about feelings and stuff. And it's like, well, I learned probably a good 28 plus years ago. Feelings aren't facts. Sure, they're emotional grounding. They are factual in the way of feeling, but it's not actually the rudimentary construction of what a fact is.
Well, even if we're talking about feelings, as soon as you start talking about feelings as a man, sometimes it doesn't work out. Most of the time, it doesn't work out. Most of
Well-
the time, somebody's like, "Oh, you feel that way? Buck up, grow a pair,"
Yeah.
or
Rub some dirt on it.
yeah, rub some dirt on it,
yeah.
or like you're talking to I don't know, a girl you've been seeing for a while. You finally open up that much, and then it just kind of turns them off from you, because at that point they're like, "Oh, he's just a child,"
Right.
and that happens a lot.
Yeah. Agree.
And like, the boys don't want to talk about their feelings or any of that, which is fine. But you should have a group,
You still have
kind of like our group. You, him, me. We all talk to each other. We understand each other. We talk about our feelings sometimes, and you need that group.
Well, the only
and it's
person-
men that understand men.
and the only person that can manage your feelings is you.
Exactly.
True.
You know.
I think listen, I don't want to get too deep into this.
Okay.
Sure.
Partly
Okay.
because I think it's time to get on the review.
Yes, sir.
But I think part of it is that there's been a lot of years at this point where men have been told that communities of men are bad.
Yes.
And they're not.
Especially in the recent years.
No, well, they're not just not bad, they're crucial. I mean, this is one of the things you see in the cigar shop, right? Like the community that is built around cigars, like regardless of what you think of this vice, the community that's built around cigars is incredibly strong.
Yeah.
We like the most intellectual conversations I have on a regular basis are in here.
Sure.
The
Yeah.
most probative and exploring conversations I have about any topic are in here. And it's not one-sided. It's not monolithic. It's a bunch of different viewpoints. This is the one place where everybody talks about everything and no one cares, and it's not punitive. And you laugh and you smoke cigars, and when you leave, you feel pretty good.
And it's not that you don't care. It's you're becoming aware of a different situation, of somebody else's perspective.
You know what I mean? But it's not like in other parts, like in other places, if you talk about some of the things you would talk about in here, you'd be attacked.
Yeah.
Oh, and actually, even in here, you might get attacked. I have
Yeah,
to
but it's
admit.
very
Well, but it's a different
rare.
kind of attack.
True.
It's jovial.
It's more discussional.
Yeah.
Or,
Well,
yeah.
No, jovial's right. Like, because like
It's
James's party last week.
Jovial and
You know.
collegiate.
Yeah, we were all in here having a great time, but anytime I'm with those guys, like we just bullshit. Like we'll crack jokes about each other. But I mean, that's the most solid group of dudes I think I've met.
Right.
Outside of this group.
Yeah, that's
No.
what we do as men.
Oh, I love having those guys up here. That's so
Yeah.
much fun.
Dude, so much fun.
I wish I could have been
cannot
there.
wait to do it again because it's just the next high at night, man. I'm waiting for it. We're gonna go.
All right, before we kill these reviews cigars, let someone take us out of this, and we'll move on to other business.
All right, y'all. If you made it this far, go ahead, like, comment, subscribe, and we'll see you on the next video.